Just a quick introduction of myself. I am a software asset management consultant here at Insight. I'm based out of our Plano, Texas location. I have been with Insight a little over 21 years, with a heavy bulk of that being in asset management and software asset management. There are teams here in the U.S. And we are globally in the EMEA and Asia Pac locations as well. So we assist our clients both in the North America as well as European and Asia Pac regions. And just kind of with that being my background, I'm going to kind of go into what we are going to learn about today. So this is a follow-up webinar to the one that we had last week, Tuesday. So I appreciate you if you're joining back again, or if you have not, if you did not attend last week's webinar, not a problem. We're going to go over some key items about some SAM resources and what that has from a strategic impact perspective, and then different ROI as what SAM and asset management can do for organizations. And so I'm going to go through some different clients that we have worked with and the different opportunities and ROI that they received as part of working through these asset management challenges, and then how we help them resolve some of these. So without further ado, I'm going to go right into our first client. This was a Microsoft contract optimization. And just kind of give you the background behind this client. Here's kind of that company profile. This was a financial and consulting services organization that had over 700 offices worldwide, a very large number of seats of over 270,000 seats. They actually had a much higher user count of over 300,000 and a very large revenue client of over $34 billion. So this organization came to Insight, and they had some new management that had been put in place. So there's been changeover. Some of the individuals we had been working with before were not there. And they had a Microsoft Enterprise Agreement renewal that was coming up. And they knew that the way that they were looking at it from a technology roadmap and a strategic discussion perspective, they knew it was going to be a rather large contract. And they really wanted to make sure that they were from a benchmarking and marketing standpoint of this new contract, that they were going to have it modeled appropriately so that they could get the best discount. And they wanted some different modeling scenarios to be discussed. So we actually, they did contract Insight to assist them with that. We assisted them in giving some different modeling of their enterprise agreement. And what I mean by that was they had different solutions and business organizations that had different takes and different manners to do business. Some were moving more towards an Azure environment or moving away from on-prem, and other organizations were still holding on to their on-prem licensing from a server perspective. But they knew in the long run, as a company goal, they wanted to move away from having on-prem licensing. And what I mean by that is, say, from an Office Professional 2016 moving to, say, Office 365 or N365 type solutions. And they knew that they wanted to move to that modeling, as well as on the server side, they wanted to move from a modeling of on-prem and managing their own data centers on-prem to more of an Azure or AWS type of solution. So what we did was we did different licensing models and from pricing models based off of industry benchmarking. Now, where did that industry benchmarking originate? Insight is the largest global reseller for Microsoft. We hold the largest number of enterprise agreements, and so we have that base data to understand what is the market allowing, what is that industry standard, what is the discount that is appealing or matching to a given client's size, spend, and mixture of products. So what we did is we worked with this client to understand that from an overall pricing perspective. What, given their pricing model, or excuse me, their technology model, where did they want to go and what products were they wanting to enroll underneath the enterprise agreement. And we worked with them to understand those products and then understand what is the benchmark or negotiated pricing that we're seeing, say, over the last 6 months, year, 3 months, and even within the last month. What is that clear benchmarking pricing and that trend? Where is it going? What is being pushed and discounted the most? So we were actually able to highly advocate for a client as they were going in their negotiation process with the Microsoft licensing desk. And because of that expertise and that feedback, we met with this client on an ongoing basis, multiple times from week to week, so that we could look at each product and assist them in what was the best negotiation tactics to take as they move forward with Microsoft. And the overall summary of this is, at the end, the client was able to yield millions of negotiated savings for the Microsoft renewal. I'm going to kind of go in a little bit more in depth in this, and how did we work with the clients, and what is that ROI of utilizing benchmark optimization. So, of course, we want to avoid any type of overspending for a client. And how do we do that? We really want to understand that you are licensed properly. So we want to make sure that there is an effective license position, that we understand what is deployed, what are you entitled, and where are those gaps. So if you're over-licensed for a given environment, why is that needed? Is it truly needed? And why would you continue to renew it? And having those discussions with clients, especially given their technology roadmap of moving on-prem licensing to moving more to a software as a solution and hosted environment. So really look at transitioning that licensing, and what was the licensing impact to taking those licenses and bringing them into an Azure environment or a hosted server environment. So we walked them through what was the pricing trends. I talked about looking at that pricing model over the last year, 6 months, 3 months, the last month, and where is the publisher within their own calendar or financial year? Does that have impact? Is it year end for a given publisher? In this case, they were very close to Microsoft's calendar year end and financial year end. So that had a great impact on potential pricing trends for a given client. So with this, we also had to identify what I would call hard and soft discounts with clients. Those hard discounts are effectively what is the price of the product compared to the suggested retail price. Where is that in a given, say, a level D or a level C contract, and it can carry over to level B and A, but where is that market discount value, and what is the potential savings that you are receiving from Microsoft? And then what is the market allowing? And is that discount you're receiving from Microsoft actually matching up to the current licensing or pricing trends? Other discussions that we had with this client was also, are there concessions that are needed from a global perspective? Is it best to sign this contract here in the U.S. or look for have it to be signed elsewhere, where other potential markets may have been giving discounts for given products at a higher percentage? Some clients may not or believe that, but that actually does happen given different markets. Different markets are pushing different discounts for different solutions. So sometimes there's global price concessions, as well as signing a large global contract also has other potential soft concessions that may be applicable. And there's also potential discussions on how they mix their products or how are they transitioning their products to look at other potential soft or hard discounts. So we were able to provide that expertise and help for clients to best model their enterprise agreement, and based off of what they were looking for. And instead of doing the normal 3-year contract, have some potential modeling that gave them the best strategy they felt for the next 5 to 7 years. So they actually went looked at 3-year modeling, 5-year modeling, and 7-year modeling. In the end, they did go with a 5-year model, but we have that expertise and ability to help clients model any type of potential years compared to discounting. Something just to continue with that benchmark optimization, and the ROI that the client received was when they decided to look at the 5-year model, there was the upfront cost savings, and they understood what their pricing was for 5 years. And this matched with their technology roadmap and where they wanted to go with their software solutions that they were building on these Microsoft platforms. So from an illustration perspective, to kind of break down some of these soft and hard savings, I kind of highlight these here. So this client in their Microsoft portfolio was in approximately $1 billion based off of mix, spend, roadmap, and all these other items that they were putting underneath their contract. And it yielded them an additional more than 2.5% of just upfront discounting than they were getting in going through this negotiation standpoint with Microsoft prior to engaging Insight. As well as there was additional savings that they received in their overall spend from the long term. So over the length of the contract of that $1 billion spend, they were looking at saving approximately $50 million for the length of the contract. So those were some of the illustrations of the hard software or just hard savings. The soft savings were really being seen in the concessions. So a client was looking to do some migrations and movement of going from on-prem to being an Office 365 shop and moving all that product over, as well as other products in the Office suite, Visio, Project, and the like. And in doing so, they requested concessions in savings of IT assistance to assist in this funding of migration and training of individuals on the products and additional collaboration projects. So this money could be used for the migration of their moving all to the Office 365 environment, as well as moving other products into the Azure environment. So they were able to negotiate IT funding to be utilized by approved vendors to assist them in that migration. So that was a great soft spend. They of course, they have to utilize it, so it's not a savings up front, but it is a savings in that overall IT spend as they go through that migration. Also, additional concessions that they were given is that Microsoft provided additional assistance to solution architects and project managers to assist in those migration collaborative effects. And so they were actually given additional resources and headcounts to assist in the management of that. So in the end, the client net a result of discounts over $12 million annually is what we computed and worked with them on, and they were receiving that above and beyond what they would have received through just normal negotiation tactics with Microsoft. With that being said, if there are no questions, I truly want to thank you for joining us today on this software asset management webinar. We appreciate your time, and thank you very much.